khanya useredi uMisbaya lezikwerede zethu.
Athi sakubona mthwakazo omuhle kodwa yikwinyi phambili. Thina sihlezi lapha kobulawayo kodwa sidla ngamehlo. Oba kwethu kodwa izandla zimfishane sande ngenwele kodwa singabakini. Bayashomiza ezindaweni zokusa imali zabo thina abampofu lokho sidla. Kudekiwe ezindaweni zokudla batayi lapho amatafula abadla kiyo abunkanyakanya kodwa umama yana utshona esadalala ezama ukudinga into engayisebenzisa ukuqeda indlala. Sidla ngamatayi ngiyaphinda ngithi sidla ngamehlo. Nangu uqhele sausage lubambile, nanka amachipisu ayashwashwama, nangu umntwana wekhiwa ikhipha iphayi kodwa umntana kaMthwakazi udla ngamehlo. Kuzayo kuba nini lokho sisidla ngamehlo, bayasuka nini emgwaqweni osiphatheleni, ngisho bona kanye abatshintsha imali, ngisho kona abasilethela ubunzima kungenxa yabo kodwa sisidla ngamehlo. Singathi ngosiphatheleni kumbe yiba abaphezulu abamasudu behola kamnandi. Abantwana bathwele nzima ezikolo. Nxa ilifa lixesha lokudlalela lapho ukuvula imphawo ezigqozisa indenda, bona bayokuthini bona nxa besidla ngamehlo. Nanku ke umnuko wekhabishi ugcwele lapha emzansi umntaka. Sorry, can I start again? Should I start? Bathi kusabona mthwakazi omuhle kodwa okuhle umthwakazi engaphathwa kuhle. Umthwakazi kadla kuhle ngoba yena udla ngamehlo. Sidla ngamehlo. Tayi sidla ngamehlo, izandla zimfishane sande ngenwele kodwa singabayini. Bayashwashwamiza abagqoka amasudu bazokoza ngemali zabo kodwa thina abampofu sidla ngamehlo. Kudekiwa ematafuleni badla kabunkanyankanya kodwa thina sidla ngamehlo. Badla ngamasudu bona ngemali, badla ngamabond code amayusa kodwa thina sidla ngamehlo. Nanti ke uqhatshu lamasausage lubambile, nanka amachipis ayashwashwama kudliwa isibindi, kudliwa iphayi kodwa kazi sidla ngamehlo. Kuzoye kube nini thina sisidla ngamehlo, bayasika nini emgwaqweni oziphatheleni, ngitsho bona kanye abatshintsha imali, ngitsho bona yibo abasilethela ubunzima kungenxa yabo sisidla ngamehlo. Abantwana bathole enzima ezikolo nxa kufika iqetsha lokuhle, abanye bavula imphako egcozisa indenda kodwa thina sidla ngamehlo. Umnuko wakhabishi ubambile emkhathini, inhlanzi ezincinyane angikhulumi lokhu ngokunye, okunye lokhu siyokudla ngamehlo mpaka silexesha lokutshela ngabazali abangela mali. Kathesi umdala isicholo konke kuzondile abala mali kodwa lokho sisidla ngamehlo. Ukukhwela kwentongo ezitolo umuntu siyathenga ngenxa yenu sidla ngamehlo. So kube nini umntaka kaMthwakazi esidla ngamehlo. Siyokudla ngamehlo batayi ngendlela embona ngayo sizokudla ngamehlo. Sa continue sibona overseas la seafood abanye kodwa sisidla ngamehlo ngoba ngesikwelede esidalwe hithi ngabaphezulu kodwa thina singazuzi.
Shwa kunini sisidla ngamehlo. Ojaji benatha amanzi thina sisidla ngamehlo. Kuchiyana kwezinto bakithi. Hopefully our judges they are just collating the marks, the figures and the results from this first round, and coming up the poets will be coming again for the second round where they'll be presenting amanyama pieces also centered around the theme, but with the twist, a little bit twist from what they presented earlier. Remember also, you can also be following Guma pages CNC, if I'm not mistaken, ku Facebook, Konapana CNC Productions. You can also go there. Now ukuthi Zoom because now let's go to ukuthenga idatha ka Zoom. Uyabukela mahara ku Facebook. Especially abasemazweni siyakwazi still Facebook free. You know, it becomes a global opportunity, global platform. Wherever you are. Hopefully the subtitles for those of you that cannot understand as in Mrs. Kulumayo apuma kuhle khona ngapho. So I'll call back co-hostess wami. I think useready la lapha niseqedile ukusanitizer.
So in second round, by the way, I'm back again. So in second round, it's still about it, but it's got a different twist in the sense that I need to Islam. So Islam pela melube creative la, melu vuse like a candela. So you have to have like my words abati impromptu, yeah, konokwada. So like you have kuchincha kuhamba until we really find our winner at the end of round. I think round 3 will be round 4, yeah, 4 rounds and 4 rounds. So yeah, ngaloku sakhuluma njalo, we'll have Rachel Vogo. We had opened again ku first round laphana azosichaya futhi nge second round asithi khwapkhwapha and yeah. Rachel, are you ready?
Hi, do you remember me? Uyangikhumbula na? I'm vocal. It's a matter of time, you would say. See, I reminisce the day when, like Jesus, you said, dare me and see if I won't open the doors for you. We went on to cast our votes in the ballot box, asking for change, believing in change. Change, all change. Not from worse for better, for worse, but you being you for better, for it's all the same. Cup to eat bacon bread, while we struggle just for buttered bread, let alone bread. A new dispensation, a new Zimbabwe, you would see. I reminisce when you say Zimbabwe is all business, but what business? What business? And for while this every Lundiga Mugabe 6 tomatoes, vegetables tending to be the for the potholes is yet to be the basket of Africa, you would say. See, I reminisce the day when you said shining bright like a diamond in the sky, yet you knew it's only you and your cabals who are the sky. Yet I'm on the ground waiting for you to come down with that diamond you already would have pocketed. And here I am later asking you, do you remember me? Uyang Kubula.
Hayibo. Uyamkhumbula na umntwana. Uyaku-reminder. This is the effect of debt. Effect yesikweleti ebantwaneni sebekubuza ukuthi uyamkhumbula na. Hey, I don't know. I don't really know. Ukuthi, do I have to really say anything after this? Maybe our second poet, Uskava, Uthando Uskava, Utong Uskava, ngizwile lami kuthiwa nguSkava. So I'm sure she's ready to take us to her next poem. Thando, are you ready? Limkhumbule phela la uThando, majaji khona. Siyalazi.
Hello again, Ngutando, aka Skava, apparently. So the next piece I'm going to do is called Citizen's Arrest. I hope you enjoy. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Put your hands up where I can see them. You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Pick up those cuffs and cuff up. You have held a gun against your own head numerous times before. You're the king of shooting shots aimed at your own foot. Surely this is something you're familiar with. Knifing yourself, not to mention your people. This death of yours will be the death of you, the death of your people, if you're not all dead already. See those struggles. There's several million people crying over the same thing, the scrambles. Fights for the bare minimum, for some food to put on the table. Barely enough. They are proof of being enslaved, proof of being bound by shackles, not of some white supremacist, not of all the ills you continuously hide behind, not of pandemics, not of sanctions. They are proof of slavery orchestrated by yourself. I said, put your hands up where I can see them. This is the price you pay for never using your brain to the best of its capabilities, stretching out the dead way beyond capacity, while incapacitating the helpless and the hopeless, for not calculating your risks and making uncalculated moves. This is the price you pay for never balancing out your books, for all the funds unaccounted for, and for all the funds you ask for that never serve their purpose. See these patches that you keep patching up. They'll continue leaking until the pipe eventually gives in and it bursts. When it finally does, the pool of water will not come knocking on your door. It'll just flow like a thief in broad daylight. Trust me, you will not see it coming. You will never see it coming. So find ways to redeem yourself before it gets worse, because it's already too late. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Thank you.
Wishing for a better tomorrow for you and me and my family, striving for a better life.
Lichaya ngoBob Marley lapha. Hey, wisela lapha ku concert. Yeah, you need to emancipate your mind so that nobody gets to do things that you don't want them to do to you. Our next poet is Lorraine Mangena. Are you ready? But I also think ukuthi uThando touched on a very good issue. Akade khuluma ngayo into okuthiwa yi-citizen arrest. Phela these days kobulawayo kule problem yamasela, kule problem yokugqekeza le robbery. What are we doing? I think, like I said, ukuthi it's a vicious cycle laphana. I-cycle le, that ngoba umuntu elesquarate, it means ukuthi akasebenzi, omunye ugcine sengena ku-crime, and with crime sesibulalana. siyenze yini citizen arrest le kade khulunywa nguThando sibachaye yini abantu laba abasirobhayo. Food for thought. You can come over, Lorraine.
A tale of sorrows. Behold, a yoke of the ancient world. It rolls in the pockets of the innocent. Lambs plead for mercy, longing for eternal redemption. Scorched faces sigh and yawn beneath the layer of dust. Tender hands work in vain to pour every coin to the pockets of dust and devote to the pride of inflation. Poverty grinds the nation, death embraces. In peril is the dream of a black man. Black is beautiful, somewhat gullible in our calm skin tone. Why did we vacation on credit? Why did we cultivate for expenditure, for it to flourish? Why did we drench more in luxury while we paid less for it? It's a pity, for our idiocy has betrayed us. A queue is the only formula for a living. Every minute demand its ridiculous bread price. Surely it is the survival of the fittest. Not anymore can both genders normalize the life of sobriety. Theft is a fruitful project for the unemployed. Can we juxtapose dusk and dawn? For humans have befriended misanthropy. Devoured is our peace like a prawn. Graduates have turned out to be vagabonds as they helplessly watch their omniscience rust. Don't choke the infant. It is not her who inhaled your millions. It is her father who failed to meet your agreement. Thank you.
You need to hear. With your hands, you carry this word, and nothing can silence you. So speak out. Your
Yeah,
strong-
iskiwa laphana sibili besi deeper than the ocean. Yeah, ngoba try izikwelete zabo baba benu lingazilalela abantwana bethu. Yes, of course. We are also getting comments. I'm sure we might have, like we said, this is an open plenary where you can also engage with us and give your contributions. Maybe we'll just take a small breather and maybe engage with our judges. Maybe they can respond to some of the comments that are coming through from the people that are contributing, that are watching on Zoom. As we said, we've got local leaders here, and someone is saying, as the municipality, uthi livunyelwe ukweleta okunganani njalo ngaphi, njalo devolution yalipha inamandla ukuthi lizikweletele lodwa kungela kuthiwa yini le iministry le elimelayo.
All right. Thank you so much. Thina nxa sikweleta kumele siqale sisike i-ministerial approval. Njalo nxa sikweleta imali yethu esiyikweleta is determined ngama-books ethu, ama-accounts ethu ukuthi how much are we collecting and how much are we owing that. So nxa si-owe too much, it means ukuthi kuzaba nzima ukuthi besivumele ukuthi sikwelete ngoba kuyabe kutshengisa ukuthi sizayehluleka ukuthi sibhadale. So it's normally determined ngama-books ethu, ama-accounts ethu ukuthi njani. Are we being owed and that are we owing and how much are we being owed and how much do we owe? So that determines ukuthi sibole kanjani.
Yeah. Omunye uyabuza lapho ukuthi liyakwanisa yini lana ukuthi liboleke kubo IMF labo World Bank izinto ezinjalo.
Thank you. As a local authority, we have got powers to borrow internally, and it depends with the amount of money that we want to borrow. And you know what, these international organizations, they there are laws that govern this country, that even govern trade in the continent or in the world. So it becomes very difficult for local authority to interact with an international organization without going through it's a central government, you know. As local authority, we are a tier of government, we are an arm of government. So it's when it becomes IMF now, it will be dealing with the international organization, then it needs a clearance from central government. But what actually sometimes do, we've had some financial institutions, international financial institutions or individuals showing a expression of interest to borrow us money. So what happens is that the local authority sits down and look at the proposal, which includes the payment terms and the rates and so ever. After doing that, you then submit it to the central government for approval. You know, sometimes you might find that you end up agreeing to terms that are against the sovereignty and cultures and values of this country. So you need to get checks. Thank you.
Of course, we're looking forward to hear the more feminine voice in the chambers, but the gentlemen have so far hijacked the responses. Njoba Lizwile, I hope basitshela laphana oCouncillor bethu ukuthi they cannot just borrow. Council is like a married man. He needs the wife to make decisions. So kumele ayibuza kumadam ugovernment ukuthi mama singaboleka yini uncube yini ikhuba kumbe senze njani. So yeah, I hope that clarifies everything. Abantu bengahambi besithi khona uCouncil yehlule ukwereda imali kanti kukhona imgoba lembandelo kumele ilandelelwe. Right now I think uChichi should be ready to come and give us the next piece. And after this round, some are going home like the Warriors. It's not coming home like England. Two shall be going home to rest and by Kolisi Ngubo and as we go to the final stage. So I hope Uchichi is ready. Sebem social distance ile phandle bamcheka le COVID test.
This piece is entitled Beyond Repair. The state of affairs in our golden city has become a bittersweet pill to swallow. Our hometown is at its knees and people are now seemingly shallow, sinking slowly into this abyss called debt. Falling into an abyss, so much is amiss, there seems to be no way out. Obunzima bempilo we shout, will things get better? I doubt. The whirlwind of desperation is kicking in fast and like a blade of grass leading us towards the inevitable. All seems to be just but impossible. Hope is lost, there seems to be no solution in sight. Still thousands continue to fight. Politicians now smear faces with screens of plastic smiles. Many struggle to survive. Corruption is predominant. Few are compassionate. Death a normalcy. Slyness a faculty. An era reeking with the foul smell of demoralization. Lives are in jeopardy. Families are turned upside down. Most look on with a frown. Wonder registered in their faces, thinking of this world and its cases. Walls are crumbling, the economy is growling, the social systems are howling, crimes are brewing, situations are self-defeating. All leads one to wonder if ever this world will be the same again. Life is now a gamble, a bargain. Our motherland seems to be out of control, beyond exploration, beyond repair. It cannot be reconstructed, some concur. Times are trying, thousands are crying. Looking up to heaven, most wonder if they ever can be forgiven. Will this world ever change? Are our iniquities so great? The Most High hears the faintest of cries, the most agonizing of pleas. God is immortal. Nothing is beyond him. Total submission and surrender. He'll change Bulawayo for the better. Thank you.
Yeah, a debt-free Bulawayo will change Bulawayo forever. Singakuyenza yini lokho silomlandu as yes silomlandu ubaba ukhansela, but I meant yes, we have an obligation as the citizens to say ukuthi we can live free from debt, and also isn't as very transparent. I would want to also go back to the Auditor General's report ephumileyo. How long is it supposed to take? How long should we know where we are as citizens? How long should we know ukuthi indaba zedebte sile debt enganani, sile sikwelede singanani? How are we to pay? When are we assuming? What are we assuming? Because ambona abantu basensitized okukwanileyo. If you are sent whatever is kiwa guys, teaching jump lapha. But however, if we are sensitized as people, especially young people on debt, we are able to fight izinto ezinjengazonezo ukuthi sesizithola sokuthiwe today 2%, 2% yanga. Kathi vele 2% ethathwa iyangaphi, iyenzani, isebenzani, khona siloko silezikwereti. Uthole sokule message from a bank saying ukuthi sizathatha imali 2% from last year. Vele ithathelwani iyangaphi imali yangikhona? Because you can't just wake up as a minister to say sesithatha 2% iyaphi 2% delay. What is it working for? Who is it working for? Ithathwa ifakwa ngaphi? So these are the things that we need clarity on as young people, and as maybe also the country to know ukuthi vele imali lezi zithathwa nini ngubani sokutheni zisebenzani. Our next part is Faith. I sibonile ukuthi complexion hayi ayisiyo leyana yangale. So she can really come and express herself in poetry.
I've been pressing my tongue down, sieving my thoughts, dismissing my theories, because the moment I open my mouth, the truth seems to scorch those in esteemed positions. But let me say that our city is not clean anymore. Things are changing. Banknotes keep disappearing, suits that keep uttering bogus words that are supposed to please the masses. Well, I've come to know you, to tell you that corruption will be the death of us. And poverty is already here. First world countries sneak peep, jeer, and sneer about what's happening in here. These city council meetings make me sick as they keep feeding us ideas that later collapse into their wallets. Our city is not productive anymore because everything seems to be in juxtaposition. The stench of irony wafts in the air because of the claims that are made in here, and you and I know it. The city is full of illegal hustlers who pay economic debts but not to survive. We call it the city of kings and queens, yet they treat us far less than royalty. There are more potholes than opportunities. They are more developed. They say we are developing, yet, and that we are free from colonial rule, yet we see Rhodesian posters being hanged in public toilets. The contract is deadly. They call it Wantutuziatunga when we both know that Abutungi. How many babies die in pregnant bellies because of the name of understaffing? Is it true that we are living in hell, or are we? Or we are the definitions of walking oxymorons. Or is it because we're ignorant of the true meaning of development? The irony is that we are known for being the educated personnel in Africa, but we're failing to develop our own countries, going and developing others because we're not satisfied about what's happening in here. So my question is, what's happening? Are we benefiting those who fought in the war because they have the ability to hold a gun, or we're forgetting about the masses? Food for thought.
We are oxymorons juxtapositioned by perversions of dictionary. Well, yes, and this we've come to the end of this round, and after this round, I think the judges will then give us who is going home and who is staying here in the cold with you. Ndina kanje ngapho liyakhudumala ukugodola izandla nxa ubukele ngefoni ungela ama-gloves. While they are khona phana kulombuzo lapha from one of the participants okhona apha who is also watching from home. Uthi kuliqiniso na ukuthi i-city council ayisela mali ngenxa yokuthi abantu abasanathi masisi.
Salubonani njalo. I-council ayisikho ukuthi ayila mali. Khathesi at least sesile 70% people paying. Abantu bebengabhadali kahle ngesikhathi, kodwa siqhubeka sikhuthaza sizama ukuthi babhadale bese bebhadala. Ayisikho ukuthi i-council ayila mali ngoba amasese avaliwe. People were not paying their bills, but for okwakhathesi siyabonga kakhulu. We improved to 70% of payment. We continue to urge people to pay their bills. Ukwenzela ukuthi siyenze kuhle i-service delivery. Thank you.
Maybe also just to encourage nje, if you recall ukuthi kudala we even had houses or ama-youth center ayisiba khona because of imali ezazivele ngwebo. Imali eyayivele ngwebo yayenza kakhulu ama-project. So I would like to encourage ukuthi kulaba abanathayo please asambe nini sethenga ingwebo, sinathe nini ingwebo because i-product yethu singafaka imali ekhampanini ukuthi imali izaphenduka. Sikhala ngama-youth centers ukuthi afile yizo imali kumele zisebenze ukurenovate ama-youth centers ethu. So I encourage kulaba abanathayo ukuthi asinathe nini amasese engwebo. So kulamahewu futhi abanganathiyo asithenge nini amahewu engwebo, sinathe nini amahewu engwebo. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. What is important, what people should understand is ukuthi whether singabhila ubulawayo wonke mhla ka-2 siyebhadala mhla ka-2 August sonke 100% siyabe singenzanga lutho. The earlier we get our bills, let's try and pay the leak that we have so that imali lana siyibhadale isanjani isasebenza njengoba likwazi ukuthi iwa njengamakhasi imali yethu. So singagcina sonke sivuke sonke sibhadele isiwili ayisancedi lutho. Kuya kuthiwa hayi sibhadele kodwa i-council kayenzi lutho. I-council it's like a supermarket. You get service then you pay. You can't just do it for free. I have said abantu ngafuna into zamahara kabazigadele nje amabhasi bemakhaya. Ngiyabonga.
Yeah, bakithi ngithemba lizwile siyananzelela ukhona njalo umnyumbuzo siyabona ukuthi hayi marketing department iyasebenza lapha emaseseni ayimanga sibele uthiwa drink responsibly thengise izibhadali amanzi.
Does BCC have currently? And the other question says, does BCC share audit reports with the residents?
Thank you very much. I think how much debt do we have? They will start checking my reports. Well, the issue of audit reports, we are responsible as the city for our financially statements, where is it of Bulawayo contracts an independent auditor to come and do our papers. And every time when those when our financial statements are done, they are or they are put out to the public. Through our council minutes, during our council meetings, we adopt them in public so everyone can walk into City Hall and ask. But it takes money to print those papers. There is a few coins that they will ask you to give them so that they can print to you. But your local councillors do have those reports at their offices. If you think you want to see, you can go there, and we normally expect them that during feedbacks they can just at least take time and brief residents. But we all know that abantu bakithi, they've got a tendency to that meeting where people talking dollars and long time. They don't want it. People normally prefer to know. So we should now transform and concentrate on things that matters, which are audit statements. Well, when it comes to the reports of Auditor General, we are happy to say the last statements, which are 2018, 19, the Auditor General did not mention comment on us as Bulawa. So meaning to say the records that they have, they were satisfied. So we are happy about that. But well, we do have some comments that they put previous reports, which were working, and we think we're working to correct them, and we think we've done that. Thank you.
Maybe if those who normally follow council meetings, you realize that we don't debate the audit report to public. That's a confidential matter, but I'm an auditor statement. They are normally, that's the only time where you see an audit report go open council, because we will be presenting our audited statement. Last council, maybe online, with an item where we are now engaging our auditors to do our books from 2020 and 2021. So currently they are now doing our books here for this, which is way up to date for this year and last year. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we try, basawalungisa khona phana amabhuku. And looking at the judges, I'm thinking they are ready now to tell us ukuthi ngubani ohambayo. Also sibonile ama-newspapers laphana kuthiwa iphumula ihamba phambili ngokubhadala nge-foreign currency. Asazi kumbe amadonki athwala ngamarandi khona ngale, kumbe kugcwele omalayithi abaningi kakhulu. Kodwa-ke sibatshayela inqola abantu bephumula khona ngale ngokubhadala kwabo ama-rates besehlulisa isikweleti. Yes. Meanwhile, I know some of you, maybe you might not be familiar with a few issues that happen when it comes to building systems, land, lezinto ezinjalo. Ikanti njalo, maybe not just on the local government or local governance here to but maybe we can also on the platforms that you are watching from also engage with each other. Kundaba lezi ezedethu ukuthi khona mhlawumbe sesingafundisana ngezinye izikweleti mhlawumbe ezelizwe sishare khona phana amanye ama-ideas on how ama-debts elizwe lawo anga-addresswa, lama-debts akwezinye indawo ama-organization anga-addresswa kanjani. Asikwazi phela ababukeleyo, bakhona abanye ababukeleyo mhlawumbe abasebenza e-Ministry of Information abama-office atshiyeneyo ababona ukuthi kwenzakalani, sebengadobha ihinto ekhona abanye, kanti yiwo umsebenzi wabo ukuthi babukele singabazi ukuthi bakhona, kodwa sikwazi ukuthi bakhona. Yonke indawo enjalo. So I think, well, yeah, technology civil is something else. Oh, okay. All right. So cabanga phela uthi sibesicabanga ukuthi kwenzana. Taro, cela uzobhatala isikweleti sakho lapha. Because I had some really deep English when these guys were here presenting about how people are owed money and we live in the streets and the tomatoes are filling up potholes ngoba kula nhlabathi ukuvala ama potholes ngenxa yokuthi abantu bathatha inhlabathi besiya extenda ngayo. It causes isikweleti senhlabathi. Otsheketsha bathatha igolide belisa emankambo kukhoza isikweleti segolide.
Hayi ukuthi phela indaba le security intando it dangerous ngokuthi maybe as let's talk about this cycle nje security. Uhulumende le security and the people that are supposed to hayi maybe asikhulumeni farming mechanization scheme, irrigation scheme leyani isikweleti lesana. Sasisinengi, yeah, even people from the opposition benefited phela, so secret leyani ukuthi abantu ba benefit. Sibe benefitile kwabanjalo, government assumed that debt, but abanye they were able to pay, not ukuthi babengela mali. Omunye u-MP waze wakhuluma ukuthi mina phela was at a position to pay this debt, but I never paid. Bapongo assume, and says assume you. It means ukuthi you and me are supposed to pay that debt. Whereas we know ukuthi umuntu oluthileyo yena phela ikulutha lokho, it's them looting izinto thina sokumele sibhadale thina izinto ababezilutila. So i-process yona leyana siyasebenza yini thina? Mina la uyawi-employed, never been employed, asiyazi i-pay slip, so sibhadala njani i-debt le ibhadala njani? So belokho bekwereta so sokulama MOU lezinye indawo sokulamani lani sokubhaliwe laphana, but into ephumayo honestly kukho konke lokho i-debt is akula lutho vele eshone into bathathabula apana chinenge chabuda. So at the end of the day, I think ukuthi indaba le debt, like isibuyele laphana what I said ukuthi kwaphonga uvuka nje sokule SI ukuthi sesibanjela ama 2% and immediate effect akuconsultwanga akukhulumananga lani, even asikwazi, maybe we've got economists khona phana kuzo, maybe lingasitshela ukuthi i2% le iyathathwa iyangaphi kubani sokutheni isebenzani. Khathi naso kuyabona ukuthi iZimbabwe leskweleti khathi imali elisithathela kizo noma sithenga airtime iyangaphi? Umbuzo, where is the money going? 2% leyana hayi sifuna ukukhuluma ngamanye ama-percent, sifuna 2% lwa uyangaphi kubani usebenzani 2%? Nxa ukhona lawo khonapho njengoba kuthiwa maybe labelingenile kuZoom singalazi ukuthi likhona, nxa ukhona sitshela phela sibekwazi ukuthi i2% yethu isebenza ngapi. Hayi ngiyabona ukuthi our judges are ready with ama results ethu, ukhona phela ozahamba it will end in tears for someone. End in tears for someone now, but it's been a good round, so maybe we can. Are you ready? So right. Yeah, so right. Yeah, I says, yeah, I managed to phela abazakhala bebuye bezokhala kuhle. Our poets.
Growing up, my mother used to say, "Mtanami lalela ulalelisise, kaphela ukaphelisise, kuningi okuphandle, kuningi okusemhlathini, kuningi okusemkhathini. Sizibonile indledlana, kaphela ntokazi yami."
All right, our poets are here. So you guys, you do understand ukuthi Islam is Janat. It will end in tears for some of you. However, we do appreciate your time to come and speak to the young people, to come and speak truth to power, regardless of anything. Siyabonga ukuthi you took time and wrote, and these things, they relate to us. So even if you lose, I feel you making it today here and giving us your words for us to recite, to think about, even after post the slam. We really appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. So Sizanika ulokuzenini ujaji wethu ukuthi ahla sithi end in tears for someone khona.
All right, salubonani nje, salubonani foot. So it's been an interesting 2 rounds, and with the topic njengalesi layo lapha, it's quite deep, and it also needed ukuthi ama-poets ethu they go a little step further into their normal writing. Like this wasn't a common type of slam where you get one theme and then the other rounds you get to do what you want. This one you have to stick to one topic and go as deep as you can with all the material that was provided before. So without delaying much, let's go into it. So we feel, according to the judges, my partners over here, at the last scoring, in fact, I think I'll just start with number 3, going to the first one, and then the last 2, we'll just congratulate them from there. So on number 3, we have Lorraine. She scored a 165 over 200. And then on number 2, we have Tando, who scored 166. So it was really close. And then on number 1, we have Rachel Voko with 181. So we'd like to thank the other participating poets, Chichi and Faith. Thank you very much for coming through, and thank you very much for your pieces. They were very intelligent, and then perhaps 1 or 2 areas that we needed to work on, but you were not very far from the rest. So thank you very much for participating, and let's get ready for the next round.
Yes, and that was all for today. So the Warriors, oh, gosh, but yes, it's always nice, to interact, and hopefully ukuthi khona maybe after the session is over, sesiya final round ke khathesi, and in the final round we will know ukuthi who's who, who's Italy, who's England. At this particular juncture, and of course, maybe the participants can also interact with the judges to understand ukuthi khona kuyini lapha banga-improve khona, ama-points abo abanye bawaluze ngaphi, abanye bawagaina ngaphi. So whilst besasilungisela laphana ke ukuthi bazalandelana njani, I think, was there any other contribution from the floor or from abantu ababukeleyo? Because it's quite amazing how people will engage on debt matters so freely bekhululekile. Usually kuthiwa ziphasila. I do not know why ukuthi umuntu ungamnika imali yakho nxa ususeyibuza ukuthi ufuna iphasila zakho. I think growing up, that was the worst thing that I never liked, being sent by your parent ukuthi hamba konazibani uyithatha iphasila zami, uthola unazibani engazwakali le phasila, uthi ungabuye ungelazi iphasila zangikhona ngapha bapheka umfusho ngale ndlini uthe upheka ichicken, sulanda lokhu unukelwa ngomfuthu umelela iphasila. Yeah, so libo bhadala iphasila bakithi khona kukhana kuya-affect abantwana besakhula, bekhule bengasadlali kuhle labanye indaba zephasila. Yeah, uyakwazi ukuthi mama akabhadala iphasila.
Maybe the council can consider uploading audit reports on their website, considering ukuthi kule pandemic we can't be knocking on those councillors.
Yeah, kuthiwa khona phana ku www.ecc.co.zw khona pha. Yeah, senze njalo. Okay, so in no particular order, judges, we'll have the first participant on the final round, Rachel, coming to give us her final piece on debt relief. Debt is slavery of the free. Hey, skill. Debt is slavery of the free. What freedom when you are in debt? Uhlezi esikweleteni kodwa ugqoka ama-chain. Ulinika. Okay. I was never born to be a poet.
Scarcity and need heavily congest the air. Deficiency and dearth heavily congest the air. We cry as Sikoka is kwelede esingazaziyo. See, as a nation, we cannot rebound, we cannot regroup. We try, a nation owing its citizens the right to life. We cry as Sions, Sikoka is kwelede esingazaziyo. But we need an explanation. We need an explanation as to how we are going to defend ourselves from the next generations, how we are going to explain why we are taking part in something we didn't even sign up for, why we are paying a debt that we didn't even benefit from, how their poverty is as a result of a few men in a bad form, how we are shedding tasteless tears for salt we can no longer afford, gasping for air through the taxes that we pay, how we are sovereigns ruled by credit from our former masters. How do we explain to our children that their suffering, their misfortunes, their hardships are a result of us being owned by wrong men, of us owing a wrong man, of us being owned by wrong people, us owing the people that we do not even know? How do we explain to our children that Sikoka is kwelede esingazaziyo? See, this nation owes its citizens the right to life.
Of your uneven developed press. With your short
This
statement saying, "Youth
citizen,
anxiety
Twan, this
with a
nation
smile
owns,
and youth
owes its
anxiety."
citizens the
Pressure
right to
to
life.
youth, they will say
Impilo
that
nje,
in
to
silence.
breathe, kuphefumula
They will
nje.
say that in
Lorraine,
silence.
can you just
I
come
need
and
everything about
give us
you.
your piece?
Everything in you
Because this is the final round, I assume, and
next
we'll
thing,
then get our
they are on
winner
top of you.
immediately.
And the
Lorraine,
rest
are
you
you
don't need to
ready?
recall. For it squashes your confidence. It pauses all sorts of judgment.
Lorraine.
It tarnishes your image.
Oh,
Whoa,
she's
that's
coming.
what you think. See, this world is so lustful, but adjusting isn't the solution. So speak out. You are the sound the people need to hear. With your hands, you carry this world, and nothing can silence you. So speak out. Your story is medicinal. Speak out. Your story is art. Speak out. Your story is poetry. Recite, because there is healing in reciting.
Economic case. Pastures dare to blossom. Debt collectors stretch out their cupped hands. Sweat is paid, yet progress remains dwarf. Efforts perpetuate, but they are nailed on thorns of poverty. Oh no, our black crown is trampled. Is our treasure rotting beyond salvaging? Seems so. Our richness slips out of our hands while we groan behind doors and curtains. We hustle day and night as we desire nobility. It is said that Queen Debt jailed us, put us in fiscal chains. Our executive chief judge is on his knees negotiating against sanctions. But will they sympathize with these empty checks? They say quality counts than quantity. Indeed, a bunch of billions can never buy a dollar note. Vanish pretty frailty. It's high time we pollute our politeness. We command you to forever hold your voice, for you cannot afford to breastfeed torture anymore. We are content as the shade of a stone, for a baobab breeze might seduce our anger. Let us be a humble nation before our pride poisons the champagne. Let us dance to the exotic rhythm, lest they smile and shower us with favors. Let us normalize faithfulness instead of diverting funds. Let us accommodate equality. Maybe the suffocated voice have the hint to our rescue. Let us peacefully unite, for oneness conquers confusion. Let us inhale patience and listen to the ideas of political stammerers. We saved the uprooter beyond the height of its demands, but it is never too late to resurrect. Words can never pay a debt, but actions do. So we beg for your cooperation. Thank you.
Yeah, we beg for your cooperation. Bhatalani izikweleti lingasithatha ngomlomo. Singadli ngomlomo, sidle ngamehlo. Oh, sidle ngokubhadala. Yes, and now I think our final participant contested Tando. Yeah. Participant contestant. Yeah, iskiwa pela during.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Your old friend dead. Dead who? Comrade dead, killjoy, what were you thinking, Mufuri, but only if you comply. Today is D-Day. I've seen you pick flowers in my garden, but rarely do I see you water it. Actually, never. I've been too easy on you, let you off the hook a few times, but now, as you can see, all the branches you cut off will not grow. The trees will cease to bear fruit. The world as you know it will continue to change. Put on your overalls so long, because from now on, for every penny you took, I want two. The longer you take to pay back your dues, the higher the interest. It will triple, quadruple. I am prepared to cripple you. By the time I'm done with you, you will learn that I am when push comes to shove, the very last resort, the person you call on when you're quarter to drowning. Even then, I will appear as the typical genie. I'll grant you any 3 wishes you want. I'll do anything you want, but you must know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I collect collateral. For the trouble I went through, I will demand compensation. You bet it won't be pro rata or proportionate. I like things extra. I own you. Everything you own belongs to me now. If I say jump, you say how high now. Because you carried a knife to a gunfight, yours will end in tears. You only took the car without the engine and a bunch of other things that had nothing to do with the latter. Basically, your meals are half done and you're not anywhere close to done. So you'd better comply or else handifure. I'll be here to stay. Like the rush you could never get rid of. One that itches in places you could never reach. The type that itches, the type that you could never address in public. Best believe I will air your dirty laundry. And by the time I'm done with you, no one will want to touch you. I said, I am comrade dead, killjoy, what were you thinking, Mofuri? But only if you comply.
I mean everything about you. Everything when you incite it. The next thing, they are on top of you. And the rest you don't need to recall. For it squashes your confidence. It causes all sorts of judgments. It tarnishes your image. Whoa, that's what you think. See, this world is so lustful, but adjusting isn't the solution. So speak out. You are the sound the people need to hear. With your hands, you carry this world, and nothing can silence you. So speak out. Your story is medicinal. Speak out. Your story is art. Speak out. Your story is poetry.
Yeah. And that was quite a soft way yokubuza ngayo isikweleti, you know. Those are the type of people thina esivela ngalo ubuya khona ama-passport esingababhadali isikweleti, because I think you have to be harsh nxa uzabuza isikweleti, because Tariro, i-20 yami liyana nxa ngabe yangingathingi ngizokubuza, it's so imali yami owayithathayo today, it's 6 months later, you still do not want to pay my debt. Awudluli lapha ngiyakuvimbela because you do not pay your debts. Abanye bayabhadala wena ufuna ukudlula mahara. Ungambhadala?
Hayi, angisoze ngikubhadale. Kuyabe kudlalwa yini? Maybe aggression also. I-aggression towards yabona i-aggression esiyenzayo leyana as people towards each other nxa sesifuna imali. Azi uzwe ezinye inhlamba ongazakuzizwa umuntu esefuna imali yakhe. This is the aggression. I'm not saying ukuthi sibe lenhlamba kumbe sichaya itoyitoyi silutha, hayi. The aggression in demanding what's rightfully yours, it has nothing to do with you being paid to say that. I think as a nation, sesile tendency yokuthi when you want to voice for the right things, usubhadaliwe. Khathi siyabhadala njani silambile? You know, it's funny because when they say you are paid to speak for the right things, so bengabeya ngini so bayamangala. Kungela cent hawulu, right? So I think we need to find maybe a way aggressive, but engekho angazi calmly aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to demand izinto esizfanele as citizens, our rights to good service delivery in this particular indaba ze city council and is the nation ukuthi kathi lina nxa lisithi linika izinara imali, okay, imali esibhadalayo kuma on our roads and yeah, to our toll gates. Why iphuza ke ukubuya? Because like what deputy mayor alluded laphana sithi asibhadaleni even okuncane esilakho imali yankhona isasele power because vele iyaphela power. So right now we pay for the whole year imali yezinara sizabuya maybe after 2 years or 6 months down the year ku 2021. Kati amaphoto la yahamba yini? Awahamba abelokhu ekhona phela.
Yeah, kuthiwa sibhadale ngesikhathi and everything else. Sibe passive aggressive. Yeah. Bona wafunde ewathu athi
Hayi
emgoqo. Esigoqwa. Yeah. But anyway, you know, so yes, sibhadale kanti kusesele isikhathi ukwenzela ukuthi lama services esiwatholayo phela lawo ayenzakale ngesikhathi njalo alungiswe, imali isasebenza, umnotho wethu usavuma ngoba phela umnotho wethu lo ngathi uvumela khatshana. Churches selilungisile ngale emkwati building.
Yeah. Maybe can we have our participants, contestants, the guys that brought words to life regarding debt, Sovogo, Lorraine, and Umaskav.
For you and me and my family, striving for a better life. Salinda, salinda, sepilele ubusa sina. Ngabeba sweet, kalama mama. Oh baba ke, ayeswa kalana.
Welcome, ladies, once again to the stage. And welcome to audience again. So this is the time when we announce how the slam went, and who our probable winner is. So before I announce these results, I'm going to talk about one or two things that we were focusing on as the slam was going on. The one thing was on, our theme was debt is slavery for the free. So all the rounds were based on exactly that theme, and they had to deliver content that was relevant, content that was relatable to our current situation, and also, if possible, suggest solutions within the poem. Another thing we were looking at was performance. Were they entertaining? Were they audible? Were they clear? Did we benefit? Were we edutained? And we feel this was really nice. I personally enjoyed myself, and I would not mind having to read the anthology as soon as it's out, because these poems are actually quite edifying. So before we even get into the announcements, ladies, I'd like you to congratulate yourselves. You did a really good job and you really went all out. So back home as well, you can just clap for them. They, oh, snaps, that's it. All right, so we'll start with, usually going from last to first, so we'll do exactly that. With scores of 24, 21, 23, and 21, we have Miss Lorraine. And then with the scores of 24, 22, 24, and 20, totaling 90, we have Tando. And then with scores of 22, 21, 29, and 29, we have Rachel Voko. So ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this particular slam is Miss Voko. Thank you very much to Youth for Innovation Trust for this opportunity. And thank you to the ladies, Loziba movement, and also supporting this particular platform. We hope that with the comments that we're getting below, we'll be able to engage more and also talk a lot more and use poetry and the arts to express accountability and to get also as much information and as knowledge, educate ourselves in the way that we understand as youth. And so with this, I'd like to take my leave from the mic and pass on to our MCs. Thank you very much.
Yes, particularly thank you very much to our esteemed judges and our participants. I think I'll call back Miss Tando Quinji to come back with the closing remarks. Closure, I never knew that. Closure. Ngawuthi kuvala umgwaqo ngamapholisa.
Nyabonga Dando, thank you so much, ladies. That was a great performance. And I'm getting comments from the chat box as well. And people are saying what you made it easier for them to understand issues of debt. Most people thought it was going to be boring, but the poems were quite engaging and nice. So thank you very much. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to give a special thanks to our judges, Councillor Jele, Deputy Mayor Ngube, and Councillor Skumoyo. Thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for the work that you did in judging this poetry slam. Special thanks to Sage M1, our poet guru, and thank you to our MCs, Dando and Tariro. That was a job well done. Thank you to the CNC team that is enabling us to engage with a whole lot of people across the world. And thank you so much for the people that have been joining us online. And the engagements on the chat box, they are quite nice. And I loved how we actually went further to still be discussing the topic as we are following online. So it has been great. Special mention to some of our MPs who are joining us online. Special mention to Honorable Tofa and Honorable Watson who are joining us. Thank you for your engagement and also answering a few questions that were there online. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been nice. This is the end of our program. Let's keep on engaging on this topic and let's keep on having the conversations online. And we are going to have an anthology with all these poems coming out very soon. Let's watch out for that and continue to engage. Thank you very much, everyone. This is the end of our program.
We have a problem. Strele kanzima, we work hard every day. Kodwa silibona uncedo lokupata lezo mali. Ikati lale siku abantwana bayalamba. Let us unite.